Hujambo na karibu katika ufalme wa Kiswahili. Kama jamii tunasaidiana kukikuza na kukiimarisha Kiswahili chetu kwa sababu tunaamini experts were once beginners. Na wewe pia uko njiani kuwa mmoja wetu na kuongea Kiswahili kama mwenyeji. Kwa hiyo, bonyeza hicho kidude hapo chini ujiunge, uwe mmoja wetu uongee Kiswahili kama mwenyeji. Today we are going to read a story from this book. I am the one who wrote this book. It is on Amazon. If you go and look for Swahili Conversations, then my name Constance Omina, you are going to see it. Or if you are living in Kenya and would like a copy, you can contact me, especially if you are living in Nairobi or Kenya. If you are just living in Kenya, you can contact me to get this book. It has how many conversations? 80 something. It has 84 conversations in Swahili. There's English translations. It has an audio as well. So we are going to be using this book to learn grammar. I want to show you how I learn grammar using stories. Like as right now, for example, in my German, I'm a beginner. As much as I'm learning grammar, I'm also using stories to learn grammar. Okay, and I am going to show you how, and that is how I have written this book exactly. When you read a story or when you read a mazungumzo, a conversation, it's called Swahili real life conversations, meaning it is not, most of the words that are here are not used in books, but they are used in daily talks. They are Swahili, they are not Sheng, because many people usually tell me, do you really think that that is a Swahili word or it's a word that is only used in Nairobi? No, I have written Swahili words. The words that are here are used everywhere that Swahili is spoken. Everywhere that Swahili can be spoken. Okay? But it is spoken Swahili. Okay, we are going to start with the first conversation, and after reading the conversation, today, since this conversation is a beginner, by the way, I have arranged this book in a way that it starts with beginner to advanced. So when you're starting here, you're starting with very beginner words. Okay, for example, this first conversation, I have written mazungumzo number 2. You are going to learn simple Swahili greetings. Number 2, you will learn 16 important verbs to use. And lastly, you are going to learn 5 question words. With that, after you have armed yourself with that, when you go to the next conversation, you are going to learn more together with the other words that you have learned. I believe in the compound effect. When you have something that you have gotten, I believe in the compound effect in life. For example, when you have something that you have gotten and you walk through with it, I believe you're going to add much more knowledge. Let me use an example of this book. When you have read, after you have read this first conversation, by the time you reach, for example, to conversation number 54, you will have had all these other conversations compounded. Okay, you will have had those words in your mind, and you will be understanding Swahili better. You will be understanding Swahili in a different way because of compound effect. I don't believe in learning using just one conversation and leaving it like that, but I believe in having one conversation adding upon the other. So starting with the simplest and going to the hardest. My hardest conversation here, which is conversation number 4, has idioms, has phrasal verbs, has complex words put together because I know it is advanced. But the beginner, very simple. So I'm going to read, and then we are going to go the 3 things. You are going to go through the 3 things that I have told you. Okay, you can follow up with me. Mazungumzo baina ya polisi na mwananchi. Juma. A conversation between a police and a citizen. Mwananchi is a citizen. Mwana, a child, plus nchi, a country. So it's like a child of a country, but it means citizen. Mwana plus nchi. Mwananchi. Citizen. And then the police starts. Hujambo. Sijambo. Juma responds. Unatoka wapi sasa hivi? Polisi asks. Then Juma responds, ninatoka kazini mkuu. Ninatoka kazini mkuu. Let's stop right there. The word mkuu. The word mkuu, when you find it in a textbook or when you find it in a Swahili book, it will be meaning someone of a higher caliber, someone of higher standards. Okay? For example, if we have someone who is working at a very low rank, the one who is at the highest rank is the one that can be considered mkuu, or the greatest of all. But here, the word mkuu, or in spoken Swahili, the word mkuu is used to give another person respect, even if that person is not of a higher caliber. For example, here we are seeing Polisi and Juma. Juma might be someone of a higher caliber when he goes to the company, or maybe he might be a professor, but he is addressing the policeman as mkuu to give him respect, even though maybe the policeman is below him. I hope you have understood that. Then the police asks, unafanya kazi gani? Juma says, mimi ni dereva wa basi linalotoka Kenya kuelekea Somalia. Polisi, sawa sawa. Just note, sawa sawa is the same as sawa, meaning okay. But sawa sawa now is more okay. Sawa sawa or sawa, it's the same thing. Polisi says, sawa sawa. Mbona una mizigo mingi? Juma says, samahani mkuu, lakini hiki ni chakula tu. You see how Juma is using psychology to show the policeman that he is respected. He is using mkuu continuously because maybe he knows he has done something bad, and the police has noticed it, and they might maybe tell him to pay a fine or take him to jail or something. So he's using the word mkuu, yeah, to show respect. Okay. Samahani mkuu, lakini hiki ni chakula tu. And then police says, hebu leta nikague. Unabeba chakula kutoka Mombasa hadi Nairobi? Then Juma says, samahani mkuu, again. Samahani mkuu, lakini nina njaa. Nina njaa is I am hungry. Nataka kufika nyumbani ili nile chakula. Polisi, sawa. Leta bagi lako nikague. Juma, sawa basi, shika. Remember, I've been explaining to Swahili learners, the word basi, it doesn't have any meaning. It is just an interjection to show that, okay, I don't want to argue with you anymore. Okay. That's why Juma says, sawa basi. That word just means fine, okay. Meaning, the word basi is there to show I don't want to argue with you anymore. It's fine. It's okay. Yeah? So Juma says, sawa basi, shika. Okay, take. And then in brackets you have, polisi anakagua begi na kupata si chakula tu. The police checks the bag and finds out that it's not food only that is inside there. And then he asks, kwa nini kuna vitu vingi? Kwa nini kuna vitu vingine hapa na si chakula tu kama ulivyosema? Why do we have other things and it's not only food, as you say? Juma says, pole, pole. I like Juma's character. He's so humble. I don't know why he's humble. I don't know if he's humble because of the police or that is his natural character. Because he's praising the police, like showing him respect by calling him mkuu. He's apologizing, okay, not being hot-headed. Okay, the police says, pole haina dawa. Sorry does not have medicine. Pole haina dawa. Toa faini sasa kwa kudanganya polisi. Give a fine for lying to the police. Kudanganya is to lie. That is one of the important verbs that you are going to learn. Kudanganya, to lie. In brackets again, Juma anatoa shilingi 1,000 na kumpa polisi. Juma takes 1,000 and gives the police. Okay, Juma says, sawa polisi, sitaki matatizo. okay police, I don't want any problems. Then the police says, sawa, ondoka uende. Okay, leave. And Juma says, sawa, kwaheri. Okay, so Juma, that is the end, kwaheri. So now we can see that Juma did not get in trouble of going to the jail or something. Is it maybe because he was humble, he was apologizing, he was respecting the police? What do you think could be the reason? Okay, at the end of every conversation I usually write this: kila laheri, all the best. Soma mazungumzo haya tena baada ya somo. Hakikisha unaelewa kila neno kwenye karatasi hili. Kama hauelewi, tafadhali nitumie ujumbe. Kumbuka, kufaulu kwako ni kwangu pia. Which simply means in English, read this conversation again after the lesson, because there is a grammar lesson when you are doing my grammar lessons on Teachable. I have a grammar lesson and then a story, or a story, a grammar lesson. So that's why I'm telling you, read this conversation again after your lesson. Make sure you understand everything written on this paper. If you don't understand, please send me a message. Remember, your success is my success. Let's succeed together. That's what I always wish for my students.